So today we're going to check out the progress of the Jaboticaba seeds. So I bought like 90-ish, and they say sometimes the seller gives extra seeds. Not sure, I didn't count them. I get the sabara and I've got the red, and I planted them in different potting soils, different pots. I put a few out in the ground, which we're not even going to attempt to find them if they even like are seedlings, because I have no idea exactly where to look. So here are 2 or 3 red ones. I guess there's 3 stems. Here's some more red ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 10 or 12 or so here. And this like a fruit container, has a lot of holes in the bottom. 3-gallon container, says sabara, so there's like 10 to 15 in here. It looked like a few in this other fruit container, and if I marked it, I do not know if it just faded or what. There's like 8 or 10. A lot of containers here that just have nothing in them. So what is that, like 40 out of like probably at least 80 that were planted in pots, then another 10 to 20, which is hard to tell unless we just happen upon them. And I'll look later and see if I can find, maybe look at the old video and see where I planted them, if I did show where I planted them in that video. I went back and kind of checked out my orders to make sure I had the right numbers on the seeds I bought. And I bought a small amount of red hybrids and a larger amount of sabara and Jaboticabas. They have a short shelf life, the seeds, apparently. So a lot of people ship the seeds in the fruit, and of course the fruit's going to be like soggy and rotten most likely when it gets here, but some people ship the seeds dry, and you don't know how old they are, if they're just harvested. But it seems like close to 100% of the red hybrids probably sprouted, and definitely a smaller number of the sabaras. I kind of remembered where I planted a variety of seeds, but like in this area here, you see all this wild weeds and stuff. You'd never be able to know, because they're going to be shorter than those weeds and mixed in with hundreds if not thousands of other weeds and grasses and stuff. So 2, 3, 4 places I remember putting them, but there's no way, if they have sprouted, the size that they would be easy to see. I could rummage through these areas, but then again, I might step on them or kill them if they have sprouted. But I think I do remember saying something in that video that randomly putting seeds in here and there and everywhere really isn't a great idea. You can go back and look on that video, and I'll link it to this one. And this is the majority of the sabara seedlings that came up right here out of 50 plus seeds. Not a lot. So this is the red hybrid again. There's 3 stems. Do these have a better propagation, sprouting success rate, or were these just fresher seeds? I don't know. Right now, I've never tried, as far as eating any of the fruit. Here they're kind of like a grape, and the jelly or whatever, or fruit spread you make is kind of like a grape fruit spread. I think some people call it a Brazilian grape or something like that, or tree grape, and they grow on the trunk. The flowers on the trunk, and the fruits hang off the trunk. But we'll see how we can keep them, if we can keep them alive. And I just found another Jaboticaba pot. It says hybrid red. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8 more in here, and it looks like a papaya papaya or something got mixed in there. So yeah, we had probably 100% of the red hybrids propagate. It'll be interesting to see if the ones that we put in the dirt came up and survived the winters. And I think one of the reasons why it's a bad idea to just randomly put seeds out in the ground here and there is the success rate is small. I've never came out like 2, 3, 4 years later after planting, seeds just randomly and said, okay, wow, here's something I haven't seen. This is something I must have planted 4 or 5 years ago. Yes, I remember doing that. Never happened. Hopefully it's different because these guys supposedly like wetlands and semi-shaded wetlands. The shade will help protect it a little bit from the winter. Will they protect little tiny seedlings? I don't know, but it would be really nice to next year or the year after say, okay, this looks like it doesn't belong here. That is what I planted here 2 years ago or 3 years ago. As I stated, I don't know how old the seeds were. If they were the same exact age, would we have the same success, propagation success, seeds sprouting into seedlings? I don't know. I mean, this is my first time messing with these. But if this is an indication of, how things usually go, the hybrid reds have like a really high success rate. And they actually produce fruit, I think, within like 2 to 5 years or something like that, versus the sabaras, which can take like 7 to 15 years or something like that. Don't quote me on that. I'm just kind of going by like memory from months and months ago. So hopefully that is accurate. All right, guys, take care.